Isn't it time you became wealthy? This episode is going to address the question that maybe you've had. Many people wonder, why don't most people become wealthy? This is in my studio, and as you join me here, I'm going to disclose 31 reasons why most people do not become wealthy. So I'm Doug Andrew. This is my radio studio, and I've been very blessed to have a national radio show now. This is my 12th year. I've also been blessed to write 11 books thus far, and several have become national bestsellers. One in 2007, Last Chance Millionaire, became a New York Times Wall Street Journal #1 bestseller. And I'm going to share with you 31 different reasons why people do not become wealthy. You can also watch 4 other episodes where I dive deep on several reasons, because I'm just going to highlight them here. But 31 may mean something to you if you've ever been to a Baskin-Robbins ice cream shop, okay? They have 31 flavors. Now, I mentor youth, and sometimes I tell them I'm so old. I remember when Baskin-Robbins only had one flavor of ice cream, vanilla. Or I remember when Burger King was just a prince, and they think I'm serious. But yeah, Baskin-Robbins became famous because they had 31 flavors. Now, if you've watched very many of my episodes, I'm sort of an acronym guy. So flavors has to mean something. The word flavors, are you ready? It stands for fortunes, lost, amid, valid, optimization, and reallocation strategies. Did that spell flavors? Look at that. There are actually fortunes that are missed out on, that are lost because people do not know how to optimize their assets or reallocate assets, reposition them in order to get the most out of their rate of return and so forth. So I'm going to highlight these 31 flavors, and then I would encourage you to watch other episodes to be able to understand these. And also I'll give you an opportunity at the end of this segment to get a free copy of my latest best-selling book, where I explain a lot of these things in there. In fact, I wrote an article called The 31 Flavors of Missed Fortune. Missed Fortune was actually the title of my first book. Yeah, this is the War and Peace version. It was 550 pages. It's actually 4 books in one. And so I wrote this book because there's a lot of people that miss out on fortunes because they simply don't know what they don't know, or they follow the herd. And so this is why I wrote this article called 31 Flavors of Why People Miss Out on Fortunes, and why we have to sort of dispel myths. I called them myth conceptions in my first book. So I'm going to go through and highlight the main categories and just give you a couple of examples. And if this resonates with you, I would encourage you watch other episodes as I go deep onto these 31 reasons, okay? So, what are the 31 ways that people miss out on fortunes? Maybe you've had a bad taste in your mouth because of these flavors not being right. The first category is retirement planning. That is choosing the wrong investments. So under that, I have an episode where I talk about how people sometimes choose long-term investments for short-range goals or short-term investments for long-range goals. Other times, people are putting their money into what I call crawl investments, where you're only earning 1% or less in maybe bank CDs or whatever. You're crawling around this racetrack. Other people walk around this racetrack towards financial independence, and so they're putting after-tax money into just tax-deferred accounts like annuities, but when you withdraw the money, now you have to pay tax. Others follow the herd and put their money in IRAs and 401ks, thinking they're going to be in a lower tax bracket when they retire, and when they get there, they're not. If you're in a lower bracket, it means you didn't save very much. And so people go, that was the wrong premise. I'm not in a lower bracket. Now I have to pay tax at the highest rate I've ever been in. There are other people who think that that is the best strategy. But many times I talk about how to employ some of your serious cash. There's 4 things you can do with money: spend it, lend with it, own it, or give it away. Well, I would recommend that you own with your money as much as possible, but people don't understand how to own and loan on the same asset. So I call that double dipping in the ice cream cooler, okay? Now, another category where people miss out on fortunes happens to be with your home and real estate. And so if this resonates with you, watch that episode, because sometimes people don't understand when they invest in real estate, and maybe that's only your house, how to get out of debt. Most people want to pay off their house, but they take way longer paying off their house than they need to. But what's shocking is people think that the best way to pay off your mortgage, the fastest way, is by sending extra principal payments to the mortgage company. That is not the fastest way to get out of debt. Any form of doing that is not the fastest way to get out of debt. But you want to make sure your real estate investments are liquid. The equity is liquid when you need the money. It's safe so that when the real estate market plummets, you don't lose, and you earn predictable rates of return on top of whatever the real estate does with appreciation. Most people just think real estate is a good investment because it's going to go up in value or appreciate. Oh, you're missing out on a fortune. So make sure you watch that episode. The other category might be tax planning. A lot of people don't know how they can avoid unnecessary tax. So in the article, I have 3 bullet points under how to redirect otherwise payable tax to causes you support and not pay unnecessary tax. When people do that, many times I end up coming up with an extra $100,000 or $200,000 at the end of the day with money that was just going to go down the drain in unnecessary tax. It's unbelievable how many people, I can usually look at somebody's tax return, and within 2 minutes, I can tell what they know and what they don't know, and how much of a fortune they're missing out on because of what they're doing with their money, just as it's disclosed on their tax return. And many times I can save people $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of taxes because they're doing it wrong. So these are some of the main points. I'll give you the other 3 categories too. So among these other 31 flavors or reasons why people miss out on fortunes, there's a big one in my article that talks about asset management, and that's choosing the wrong strategy. See, when we talk about choosing the wrong investment vehicle, that's one, but choosing the wrong strategy. A lot of times people don't understand that it's more in the strategy than in the commodity. See, a lot of financial advisors, for example, seem to focus on the commodity. Now, I've used this metaphor many times. If you were going to be playing in a golf tournament and you had the choice of using a professional golfer like Phil Mickelson's swing or Tiger Woods' swing, or you could use their clubs, what would you choose? Yeah, I'd rather have the swing, not the clubs. Well, see, I've noticed that most financial advisors seem to just focus on the clubs or the commodity, buy this mutual fund or the stock or bond or gold or silver. It's not in the commodity. It's in the strategy. See, it's in the swing. And so this is a big category, and I actually have 7 different key places where people choose the wrong strategies and they miss out on fortunes. And so if that intrigues you, I want you to watch that episode because it's so critical that you might, in retirement, might want to not lose when the market goes down. Well, that's a strategy called indexing. Would you believe that over 95% of financial planners and advisors don't understand indexing? They think I'm talking about index funds. Others don't realize that you can have tax-free income in retirement. Most advisors go, what's tax-free? Most CPAs go, what's tax-free? So it's in the strategy, not in the commodity. Another big category is risk management and insurance. And so one thing we want is the highest returns on our money with the lowest risk. Most people, they maybe put off saving and then they're taking higher chances, they're taking higher risks, and they're trying to get rich quick. They're trying to make up for the years they didn't save and sock away money. And so many times you need to understand risk management. And what if you do get laid off or you get disabled or you die? How is your spouse and your children, maybe your company, your employees, how's it going to keep functioning when you're not there? Or if you get disabled or you lose your earning power? You need to manage risk, but you can do it by using otherwise payable taxes. And people don't realize this. And so I actually have 5 bullet points in the episode on that talks about how to properly manage risk, be able to have the proper amount of insurance, but let Uncle Sam pay for your insurance, not you. People go, huh? I didn't know I could do that. When you understand the strategy, I have millions of dollars of life insurance, and people say, how can you afford that much? I go, well, I'm not paying for it. It's being paid for with otherwise payable tax. Would that intrigue you? The last 2 categories are credit and debt management. Many times people don't understand the power of having a 720 credit score or higher, or a 750 credit score or higher, how that can make up a difference of $200, $300, $400 a month on a mortgage payment. A lot of times people don't understand how to pay off debt the smart way. They don't realize it adds up to tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. The very last category is estate planning. And many times at the end of the day, people make blunders. They make huge mistakes in how they leave behind what they've accumulated to their spouse and then their non-spousal heirs. So those are just examples of the 31 flavors of why people miss out on fortunes. And so what I want you to do is immerse in some of the other episodes. If you want to just learn some of these right off the bat, you can go to laserfund.com, and this is our most recent book. It's actually 2 books in one. This book is about 200 pages, 14 chapters. It has all kinds of charts and graphs and examples of my favorite vehicle, the Laser Fund. If you learn more by stories, you flip the book over and read this one. This is about 100 pages, 12 chapters, and it actually has 62 actual client story examples of how to accomplish this. If you want to use your right brain and left brain, your whole brain, you read both of these books, and you'll understand these 31 flavors of missed fortune so you don't miss out on your fortune.